Hi everyone! So I know this is my this is my fourth, I can't even count, fourth video, but I figured that I would do the Booktube Newbie Tag. It's a bit cloudy out and rainy today, but I have my good cup of tea. This quote is from the Lizzie Bennet Diaries. I hope all of you have seen it. It is a great readaptation, like as a YouTube series of Pride and Prejudice in the modern day. There's a spin-off called Emma Approved too. I loved the series. I wish that I could meet them all. I love them. Anyway, check it out. I decided to start this channel because I wanted an outlet for talking about books, basically. I read a lot of books. I've always read a lot of books. But I'm not in university anymore, nor am I British, so I'm not sure why I said university. Reading too many British books, clearly. I'm not in college anymore. I don't write papers about books or anything, and so I started my blog, ambfso.wordpress.com. You can find the link below, to help with it a little bit, but I don't know if I'm very good at reviews anyway, but just I want a place where I can talk about the books I've read and hopefully share like new books and ideas with you all of the Booktube community. So I think that's mostly why I did it, just so that I can, you know, become better and have a place to talk about what I love, which is books. I don't know necessarily if I can bring anything new. I hope that I bring you enjoyment when you watch these videos, but I'm not like super awesome with editing or like have crazy mad skills. I don't know if my reviews will be any good. If you like the books I read, I know there's a lot of insecurity. Maybe we're all a little bit insecure when we start out. I hope that I can bring just a place to talk about books for you, you know, kind of start a community for other people like me who love reading but don't really have any way to express it, except maybe through comments or responding videos. I hope that I can introduce some new books that people haven't heard of, new series, and you know, and you all can do the same for me. I'm most excited about having a place to talk and people to talk with. I don't know, I guess I said this the last two answers, but I don't have, I have friends. I was going to say I don't have a lot of friends. No, I have friends, but I don't have friends that read the same kind of stuff that I do or nearly as much as I do. I feel like I always got, not made fun of, but you know, like teased by people about like, I mean, I travel the world and I have legit like 25 boxes of just books. Hopefully whenever I move to Sao Paulo and I get all my books back, I'll do some kind of like unboxing of all of the books I have, or like, you know, a bookshelf tour, kind of things I've seen, videos I've seen. But I'm excited to have this opportunity and to like help build this community of like-minded people. I love reading for the escapism. I'm totally an escapism junkie. You know, when you've had a terrible day or you're like, nope, I can't today. I can't adult, or I just want to forget this miserable day. I always feel better when I read. It's great being another person, even if their life isn't so good. But like being able to lose yourself in a book, I love the writing styles. I love how creative people are. I'm super jealous of that, and I love that people can express these ideas this way. Like, is there anything not to love about reading? I don't know people who don't love reading. Like, I don't understand them because I love it so much. I do, a lot of the books I read, the books that I really like have like a political aspect to them, or like an international affairs or like post-apocalyptic thing. So I really do enjoy a little bit of politics in my books and thinking like, okay, you're stuck in this scenario and there's no government, or this is how the government's acting, like what are you going to do, and kind of putting yourselves in that scenario. And as a government worker, that's really interesting for me especially. So I've always been a reader. This kind of answers a later question, but I've always really been into reading. But the series that has stuck with me the most or made like the biggest impact on my life has to be the Heralds of Valdemar series. It was by Mercedes Lackey. It was specifically Take a Thief. So I think I was in like 6th or 7th grade, and I was in the library, and like I said in my earlier video, I judge books by their cover. So I was like, this looks like a cool, like purplish cover, and it has magic in it. So I got it and fell in love with the series for so many reasons. Maybe, especially if people are interested, like I'll do some kind of explanation of the Heralds of Valdemar, because it's just, I love the series. So that's the series I think that like will always have a special place in my heart. So I'm pretty new to the booktube community in general. I haven't been watching videos all that long because I kind of just found it. So I don't have like one booktuber who I'm like, oh my god, I have so many questions. But I think in general I would ask booktubers like, how do you like think of ideas, or like how do you stay creative and stay relevant? And then of course like what's your favorite book? Let's be friends. I think the challenges that will be hardest will be just like I said before, being creative. I'm not sure how creative of a person I am. I don't think I'm a terribly creative person. So I think just making sure that I'm staying relevant, if at all. Not relevant right now, but if I become relevant, how do you stay relevant? How do you be creative? How do you make a community? How do you build a community and like be part of that community and bring something new and exciting and offer something to that community? Like I said before, I've always been reading, but the like earliest memory I have of reading is when I'm like 4 years old, and my dad, I was reading the first chapter of Emma to him, by Jane Austen. I have no idea why that book specifically. It's like the super old Barnes & Noble classic cover, Emma. I wish I had it here and you could see my like 5-year-old scrawl. I do not write like that. I apparently did when I was 5. But I remember trying to read that to him. I don't think I got past the first couple pages, but I was also like 4 or 5. So I've just always been a reader. Always. I read everywhere. I read in the car, I read on the bus, I read on the train and the plane and the... What rhymes with plane? I guess train did. I already messed that up. I'm not a poet. But I mean, mostly I read in my house, on the couch, in the bed. I do usually listen to music or have like the news on, or just some kind of noise, light noise. If I could have the window open or the door open, I would. When it's raining is the best, and you have like a cup of tea and under blankets. I'm always cold, so I'm always in like, you'll probably see me in sweaters a lot in these videos, blankets, things like that. I mostly read fantasy, young adult, like everybody else apparently on Booktube. I guess I read more of the genre new adult. I didn't know that was a genre. I guess I thought there was like young adult and then just fantasy. I read high fantasy, normal fantasy, all the fantasies, middle school fantasy, young adult fantasy, all of the fantasies. I like sci-fi, probably my favorite book in the world, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, sci-fi book. I guess kind of vaguely. Not so much big on like contemporary or like crime novels or thrillers. Like I'll read them, but they're not, my go-to picks are usually involve magic or other worlds or dystopians. I love dystopians, post-apocalyptic. That's my jam. Anyway, I hope that you all enjoyed this, got some more information about who I am and what I hope to bring to Booktube, and comment on what you'd like to see in the future. My next video, which maybe I'll get to tomorrow, will be my to be read for November and my wrap up for October. So see you then.